having a great school debate. Now, Paula and her husband, Rick, say that public schooling is better than unschooling or homeschooling, either one. But Carrie Lynn says that she is a hardcore homeschooler, and she secretly wishes for the complete collapse of the traditional school system. Tell me your position, Paula.
I understand when you say that, you know, they do get some socialization, but not near as much as children get when they get put on a bus in school every single day with other kids,
okay,
with
but
other
sometimes
teachers.
that socialization can include dodging bullets. It can include kids behind the gym with drugs and cigarettes and all kinds of influences that you don't want. So, I mean, there's more socialization, but is more necessarily better?
More socialization is better. I mean, the violence
But you recognize
right now,
there's a huge downside to it.
There's a huge downside to sending your kids to a fast food restaurant or a 7-Eleven where they're after 9 o'clock.
or putting them in a car. Do you put your children in a car?
I do.
Over 3 million Americans are killed in the United States a year in a car.
What do you say about this?
Well, socialization, my kids are very busy, very involved with all ages of children. I mean, there's just not, as a matter of fact, more often than not, I'm saying let's take a break from all of this because they are around kids most of the day, every day. And they're wonderful children and they have deep, meaningful relationships.
Around kids that are also homeschooled. So it's like you've created an environment.
Well, not necessarily if they're on a team at the Y or something like that.
Right,
There are kids from every walk of life, right?
Our kids are actually the only homeschooled kids on our teams.
Yeah, there's sports, there's all kinds, and the fact that they have kids who are in public education, they're friends.
Because you take them to, you know, community activities, right?
Totally.
It's not like they play for the unschooled Panthers.
No. Actually, we're the only unschoolers that we know in real life around where we live. Actually, most of our child's socialization is with school kids or homeschool kids, private school kids.
Do you worry about things like Columbine and that sort of thing? Is that part of your decision?
Yeah, actually, that's what started my whole. Right after I gave birth to my first son, the first thing I saw on TV as I held him for the first time with Columbine happening live.
Your kids are going to grow up and make decisions about, like, my health care or make public policy that's going to affect me, everybody. So, yeah, I care about
Why is
what
that a
you're
bad
doing
thing,
with
though?
your kids.
Like, how do you see that as being negative? Like, do you think my children are going to make bad choices for you?
Definitely in the unschooling department, yes. In the radical schooling, you're saying they learn. There's a difference between learning, just being out there learning, like I'm learning right now about a lot of things, and reading books and being book smart. There's a huge difference.
Our children are quite book smart.
Okay, hold on. Where's Kathy?
There's a proverb that says foolishness is bound up in the heart of a child. So the first math lesson of homeschooling is when you put your kid in a classroom full of 30 other kids, you get 31 fools. Children are not the best socializers of each other. There needs to be some oversight, some supervision, some people presenting the principles that you're talking about.
Okay, but see, this has got to be a partnership between parents at home who are doing a lot of the value teaching, the morality teaching, the principle teaching, and the teacher who is at the classroom and is teaching the subject matter, the content. The school system contemplates a partnership between parents and teachers. And see, one of the things that concerns me that we haven't talked about is I believe that teaching is a science. These teachers that get their teaching certificates, they are availed of a tremendous amount of research, tried and proven teaching methods to present the greatest degree of clarity with regard to a particular subject matter. And I can tell you, as a parent that hasn't had that training, I just don't think that I would be as adept at imparting that information to the student as a teacher that has been trained in the educational science.
What I do...
Do you concern yourself about that? Do you concern yourself about that? That you're not as good a teacher as somebody that's been trained to be a teacher?
I don't consider myself my child's teacher. And also, I think that teaching has to be a two-way street. If the child's not interested in what they're being taught, basically the person's standing in front of the room talking. It's like throwing marshmallows at somebody's head and calling it eating.
Well, I want to respond to that, but I have to take a break. Next, a mother who says her kids are safer at home with her gun than at public school with strangers who can show up with a gun. We'll be right back.
I do believe that public schools have become more dangerous. I'm not willing to put my girls in jeopardy and risk losing them to a monster that would come in and torture them or take their lives.
I disagree with Rand. I'm very passionate about kids going to public schools.